Good morning, evening, and afternoon, and welcome to part 3 of Aokana, no Kanata no fōリズム. So, last time that was the second one. We started with finishing off the school day in a sense, and we ran into Mashiro. We didn't really get too much about her yet. Well, most of the cases we don't know much of yet, but we were told by the teacher that from the sound of it, it doesn't seem like there's many people who are both knowledgeable about anti-graviton issues, as well as who are able to teach. Because from the sounds of it, he's got, how can I word this? Not a dislike or disdain, but he wants to put flying to the side because of his past, from what I can gather. But then again, he wasn't too unwilling to not teach, in a sense. So my views on Masaya's thoughts about the flying is a bit here and there. I'm not too sure yet. But yeah, we were told to teach Asuka, and so after school he went and taught her the real basic fundamentals, just to start the hovering and start the basic off. It was quite an interesting little scene, I guess you could say, where we also had the Misaki. I think it's a Misaki. Just want to double check. Yeah, Misaki and Mashiro were on the sidelines watching this all play out. Yeah, still don't know too much about each character. I'm looking forward to knowing each one. And then after that little lesson, Masaya and Asuka went home because they roughly in the same area, so they went home together. But yeah, once they had landed and Asuka went on her way, Masaya had noticed that somebody else was coming in to land. And that was when we were introduced to Rika. At that time, we knew that she was possibly the fourth heroine of the series, but obviously we didn't know much about her yet. All we knew was she had beautiful form and knew how to fly. She was really by the book. She was perfect in her methods, in a sense. And we also noticed that she was from a different school, not the same one that they were from. I'm not sure where she went after that. For reasons afterwards, we should now know they should have been going the same way, but yeah. After that, he went home. Was doing other things. I can't remember exactly what he was doing. It's a bit too far for that now. He was in his room, and he had noticed that they had new neighbors, and things started to start clicking into place. There's a new transfer student, new neighbors. Could it be Asuka? At that time, I was kind of dreading it because I didn't want it to be. It's not cliche, but to me it feels cliched for some reason. I just didn't want it to be that way, which is weird. But a part of me also thought that it could have been that other girl, Rika. But then I thought she didn't seem like she had just moved in a sense. But yeah, so the doorbell rang and they were introduced to the new neighbors, and it ended up being Rika. Which I thought was actually pretty interesting. And then we found out a little more about her, a bit more than the others at this time already. We know she's quite serious in wanting to do things. I don't like the word by the book, but she's like wants to make sure things are done the right way. We've seen that with her flying and with her introduction as a neighbor. She didn't want to be seen as rude or things like that. She wanted to make sure everything was right. But yeah, it's an interesting character. Kind of made me feel like doing her route first. Yeah, so that's kind of the long intro, I guess you could say. So yeah, after that, he has gone to his room and he says he's got to thank her next time they meet. And when we get into his room, we see it is dark, his curtains are open, and next door's windows seem to be open as well, curtains, with their lights on. That just makes me think, okay, they're going to meet a lot quicker than he thinks. But yeah, so let's see what's going to happen next. Huh? I freeze. I mean, of course I do. How could I not in this situation? When I look out my window, I see... I hope it's not something... Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is a bit too much for YouTube, so unfortunately I'll be doing a bit this area here. Yeah, okay. Seems like time has stopped in a radius of 5 meters. None of us budges an inch. We both remain in place, frozen in place. Honestly, why I can't even so much as cover my eyes or turn around. Eventually, I hear a voice that seems to be on the verge of explosion. Before I have to figure it out what she means, she finally erupts. Oh, all she does is scream. She doesn't say anything, but okay. Well, wait. Sure, I'm surprised, but why the hell am I screaming? Oh, they're both screaming. Oh, okay, so this is Adika's and this is Masaya's. I'm actually quite curious. Sorry if I keep doing this. I'm actually quite curious about what did he... Oh, he's just also surprised. Okay. Sorry, I closed the curtain right away. I think you're overreacting. This isn't going anywhere. Actually, you can just close your curtain. Yeah. She pulls the curtain over her window, which blocks my view. After that, I close my curtain as well. I let out a deep sigh. However, the sense of dread from having seen something I shouldn't have doesn't go away. Does she understand that it was an accident? Just great. I'm pretty sure my first impression wasn't too bad, but now it's tanked. After that, I keep looking for signs of her wanting to talk as I go about my business. In the end, I never get an opportunity to apologize or explain myself. Okay. So, tell me, have you gotten more used to flying now? I guess you're going to school again? Ask Kurashina-san. We're flying together, hand in hand, just like yesterday. She gives a couple of nods and directs a joyful smile at me. Glad to hear that. I'm looking forward to seeing how you do after school then.
けで、今日からこのクラスに入ることになった倉科明日香だ。みんなよろしく頼む。
倉科明日香です。内地の方から来て、まだよくわからないことも多いですが、ぜひいろいろと教えてくださいね。なるほど。じゃあ明日香ちゃんはすっかり暮らしの虜になっちゃったわけなんだ。ええ、そうなんです。ひなたさんやみさきちゃんと一緒に昨日から飛ばせてもらって。
Looks like Misaki isn't doing well in the morning again. So I'm used to
みさきも一緒だったんだ。そうなの
So here she says, "Oh, Misaki was with you too." Is that so? Is she saying?
そうだよ。今日は一段と血圧が低そうね。
There's no point in trying to talk to her this early.
みたいですね。
I've brought this along today. Oh, okay, let's just go straight. There's not really an indication of time flowing, it just skips straight to it.
教本ですか?
People don't tend to think about theory when flying, which makes it hard to keep all the rules and laws in mind. That's why I went and grabbed this from the library.
なんだか非合法の危険な匂いがしますね。
No, I didn't. I borrowed it the normal way. I decided that today we would only fly after a lesson on the theory of flight, its history, grav shoes, terminals, and all that. How old do you need to be to use grav shoes? I was testing her.
7歳です。ただし、決められたゾーン以外を飛べる許可が下りるのは13歳からです。
Yeah, correct. Amazing.
やりました。
Krishna-san doesn't seem all that great when it comes to actually flying, but she's been absorbing the rules and laws like a sponge. I guess she's really interested in it.
さあ、次来てください。次。
There are no questions left.
残念。そうなんですか?
She doesn't say the second part. Gotta say, you have an impressive memory. That's a pretty amazing talent.
大好きなことはずっと覚えておけるようにできてるんです。苦手な学科とかは全然覚えられないんですけど。
Seems awfully convenient. Feels like it suits her perfectly though. So do you have any questions at all?
疑問というか、要望言っていいですか?
Depends on what it is.
私、皆さんのこともお聞きしたいなって、せっかくこういう機会もできたんですから。
That's what you meant. She had me confused for a second there.
でしたら、船島縦断美咲先輩クイズやりましょう。
You're really great at interrupting things, Arisaka.
あれ、美咲ちゃんは？献身的に介護したんですが、なんだか一人にしてほしいとおっしゃるので。一緒についてきてるのに。
Sorry, hold on a second.
一緒についてきてるのに。
Even though we were together, or although we were... Something along those lines. But okay. Do you ever think you're going overboard?
美咲先輩の心は繊細で、私たちでは伺い知ることなんてとてもとても。
You can put a positive spin on just about anything, huh? The way I see it, she's just moody.
それでどうされます？船島縦断美咲先輩クイズ。
You're really pushing for that quiz, aren't you? How unusual. Normally she'd want to keep everything to herself.
やってみたいかな。私、美咲ちゃんのこともっと知りたいです。
Just make sure you don't focus on the quiz more than flying.
大丈夫ですよ。
I really doubt it, so I'll join them just to be safe.
じゃあお二人とも参加されるということで。さあ、生き残るのはどちらでしょうか。どっちか死んじゃうの？
Arisaka seems pumped. I'm guessing because it's about Misaki?
では第1問です。じゃん。
She's even throwing in sound effects. Honestly, Arisaka sounds about ready to explode with joy.
美咲先輩の生誕祭といえばご存知？ご存知？
When is it? I've got no clue.
ちょっと問題を途中で止めないでください。せめて最後まで言わせてくださいよ。
Listen, you're expecting us to know way too much specific stuff about her.
え？そんなことないと思いますけど。
You can't be serious. That's scary.
ちなみに今の問題の答えはおばあちゃんの家の菜園を食い荒らすでした。
Hold on a second. Okay.
なんかすっごく質問が気になるんですけど。
Yeah.
はい、それでは第2問です。もう先に進んじゃった。
Wait. Arisaka? I'll stop her.
はい、どうされました？日向先輩。
You've already exposed our Misaki IQ, so you should be satisfied. But tell me, Arisaka, as someone who prides herself in being a Misaki master, do you truly understand her?
何がおっしゃりたいんです？
If you can answer whatever random Misaki questions we throw at you, then that would make you a true Misaki master, don't you think?
でもそれ、問題出す側も答え分かってませんよね。
Yeah, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure out if she's given the right answers based on how she speaks.
アバウトですね。いいでしょう。その無謀な挑戦受けて立ちます。
I see. I know I'm the one who suggested it, but I'm surprised she's actually playing along. Here we go then. No point in asking abstract questions that make it easy for her to lie. We'll go with some standard ones. What is Misaki's favorite food?
うどん、たけのこ。美咲ちゃんの趣味は？食べること、おばあちゃんに教わること、最近はぬか床作り。
Okay, and then what are her three?
私プラス11、7、12。
She's saying hers?
私プラス11、
Yeah.
7、12。
She said hers. Huh?
答えられないとでも思いました？
Well, like I asked myself why you answered that question. I mean, come on, you really shouldn't have. I'm quite confused here, sorry, it's just... So here he asked her 3, she says my 3. Then he says, why you answered that question. It's not us saying why did you answer the question for yourself. I don't know. I can't help but gulp as I think about her answer.
やっぱり一方的なのは良くないと思うんですよ。ですから今度はまたこちらから行きますね。
With that, Arisaka turns toward Misaki and...
美咲先輩！美咲先輩の好きとまでは言わなくても、お気に入りとか気になる人といえば当然！マサヤ！
Me?
ちょっとこっち！
Obviously she was calling for him. Masaki is waving me over. I'm sure it was a total coincidence that she'd said my name right there. I mean, that's the only possibility, but... That was the worst timing imaginable. I fly over to Misaki. Okay. Misaki, you may not have meant anything by that, but your timing was real bad.
というかマサヤ、あの子を使って何人の個人情報を聞き出しまくってるわけ？
Ah, damn, she noticed.
別にどうでもいいけど。
Positive Kurashina-san raised her voice just now because Misaki leaning in toward me. I instantly pull away from her in order to keep our anti-gravity fields from repelling each other. Oh, interesting. Misaki pays my effort no heed as she smiles mischievously and speaks up.
マサヤのこと嫌いじゃないしね。
Sorry, that's not what she said, but
マサヤのこと嫌いじゃないしね。
I don't really hate you. It's more like, how can I word this? As for Masaya, it's not like I hate you in a sense. She's not implying like at all, but she's saying that she doesn't hate him.
特に好きでもないけど。
Yeah. So, the English is not right, I guess you could say. So, I would have been, as I just said, it would have made so much sense here. I'm saying, I don't hate you, after all, but that doesn't mean I love you, though, in a sense. That to me, that makes it much better. Did you have to whisper the second part? I look over in the direction of the other two girls. One of them looks dead on her feet. What am I supposed to do about her?
明日は女の子の扱い方を逆に教えてもらったら、コーチ。
Misaki.
わかった、悪かったよ。じゃあ、一ついいことを教えてあげる。
Go right ahead. Come on, give me an easy way to calm down, Arisaka.
あの子が出した最初の私問題。質問は、4月16日に誕生日を迎えたばかりの私が嫌いなイノシシ、その理由はなぜでしょうだね。
That's useless. We parted with Misaki and Arisaka, and are now on our way back. Our second day of training is set to end once we land on the terminal near where we both live. I wonder if they're going to run into Rika. Considering it's only her second day, it's almost unbelievable how much she has improved. I spoke too soon. No, yep, maybe I spoke too soon. She's flying exactly as you'd expect. Okay, spoke too soon again. Even a toddler would be better at flying on their second day. And I can be pretty rude sometimes, huh? Looks like she's still struggling. The reason she isn't too down on herself after her repeated failures may be because she's so stubborn. That's the conclusion I reach as we enter the airspace above our neighborhood terminal. I'm positive that her hard work will lead to results in the not so distant future. Kurashina-san's can-do attitude actually makes me believe that. What's up?
着地に入ろうとして姿勢制御に失敗しました。
You mean?
墜落しちゃいます。
Don't go say something like that in such a cheerful voice. Rather than falling, she's starting to swerve in random directions. Calm down, Kirishina-san. Everything's gonna be fine. Even if you make a mistake, it's almost impossible to really lose control. There's no real way to crash when we're floating about so casually. Remember what I taught you yesterday? Okay? You just have to calm down a little.
そんなこと言われましても、なんだか。
Just take it from the top. Quit thrashing your legs and align your heels.
そのまま バランスを保ちつつゆっくりと呼吸を整えます。
Right, you're doing good. She's clearly flustered, but is still managed to work through the steps I taught her. There are two things to worry about in this situation. The first is losing sight of your surroundings out of sheer panic and hitting something after you've landed. And the other one is... ah, shit. That other possibility is currently approaching the terminal. This is bad. Someone could get hurt. I was talking about colliding with another person here. Or more specifically, the recoil from the repulsive force that prevents people from actually colliding. It generally only lasts a short while, but in that time a person cannot control their grav shoes. It seems like luck isn't on our side as Kurashina-san flies off toward the approaching individual. Is she yodeling? What is the Japanese for that? Because I don't think that's... Obi no... Obi. I have no idea what Obi is. But yeah, it's definitely not yodeling, I don't think, is what they're trying to say here. Pretty impressive since I doubt she's doing it on purpose. Oh wait, maybe it's just a prolonged scream? And in response to that... Huh? The approaching person makes no move to dodge her. Don't tell me, they haven't noticed her? I hurriedly position myself to help them. But... Huh? The person I was expecting her to collide with apparently has a clear grasp on our situation.
Huh?
After dropping their speed, they come to a halt at a safe spot. Seems they're waiting to see how things develop. They have a composed posture which shows they're ready to step in should something happen. There's no doubt in my mind. Kurashina-san, who has finally regained control over grav shoes, has a puzzled expression on her face. I'm not sure whether she doesn't understand how close she was to disaster, or if she's just shocked. And in response, the figure hurriedly approaches Kurashina-san. Yeah.
大丈夫でしたか?
I had a feeling. Things happen so fast I have no time to digest everything.
コーチー、ほらほら、こっち見てください。
Yeah, I'm watching. Told her today's practice session would last since we reached our neighborhood terminal. I assume she's taking that in a strict sense, meaning until she lands, which is why Kurashina-san is still flying around. She must really enjoy flying. Well, nothing wrong with that. Honestly, the situation over here is a lot more of a problem for me. Yep, she hates me. Well, I can't blame her after what happened last night. I may not have done anything wrong, but Ichinose-san is still the victim. However, we've been floating around awkwardly for a while now. The conversation isn't moving forward at all. And so I make my mind up and forge ahead. Sorry about that.
いえ、昨日のことは私も不注意で。
No, I wasn't talking about that. Her mind's on there while his mind's on probably the introduction, I think. The sight of her expression changing so quickly is quite amusing. Unfortunately, she turns away in a huff. Well, I guess I can apologize about it yesterday later. I'm apologizing for Kurashina-san's reckless flight. Like that. See, she only flew for the first time yesterday.
通りで。あ、いえ、ごめんなさい。
Pretty sure so that's why she's wouldn't have been followed by any word of praise. I direct a wry smile at her as she slumps her shoulders. That's right. Can't say you're wrong, really.
でも、日向さんの彼女さんに私。
Wait, what?
そっか。だから謝る優先順位が私のことより。
Hey, is it just me or did you make up a whole story in your head? This is going in a bad direction.
ひなたさんは彼氏さんとして彼女さんに飛び方をちゃんと教えてあげた方がいいと思います。
That's literally what I'm doing. I'm teaching her as kindly as sorry as I can. No, wait, you've got the wrong idea here.
いつか大事故になってからじゃ遅いんです。
You're right, but the thing is...
ひなたさんと違って初めてでしたから。
Huh? Sunny says in a stiff voice.
男の人にあんな姿を見られたの。
It was a first for me too.
コーチ、今の見てくれました？なんかものすっごくまっすぐ飛べちゃったんですけど。
Why are you looking at her?
コーチ
Gotcha, I'll be watching now. I'll make sure not to miss it again. Those eyes. Ishino says eyes have been feeling an awful lot like daggers.
どうしてあんな不注意しちゃったんだろうってひなたさんにもちゃんと謝らなきゃって考えたくなくても思い浮かべちゃいますし思い出したくなくても忘れられなくて恥ずかしさと後悔で頭の中がずっとぐるぐるしてたのにひなたさんは彼女さんとイチャイチャされていたんですね。
Look, there was no flirting. Listen.
大丈夫ですよ。
Ishino says son directs a smile at me. Did she know obviously all the time and just joking this whole time?
まあ別に気にしていませんしひなたさんにはご迷惑をおかけしませんから。
All that, never mind. Wasn't it look like she's smiling even though there's a smile on her face? Hell, I'd even say she looks scary right now. Is it too late to apologize for what happened yesterday?
いえそんなひなたさんが謝ることなんてないと思いますけど。
Tone in the voice also makes it scary. I feel like you're misunderstanding things.
誤解でしたっけ？
It's not like I ever meant to downplay what happened. I quit shoving that airy smile in my face. I feel like those words are a bit off. I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah, I think just the way they're saying it here just makes it sound like he's being a bit aggressive with it. Don't know. Anyway, I'm really, really sorry about what happened last night.
やめてください。彼女さんの前で他の女性の着替え姿を見たなんて話、絶対良くないですよ。
Okay, now that's definitely a misunderstanding. Ishino says son stiff smile didn't leave her face at all. Nothing I did or said worked. How about just flat out say what the misunderstanding is and isn't? Eventually I was forced to head home without fixing things with her. Okay. This really sucks. I wanted to ask about her flying and confirm that her uniform's from Takafuji Academy's island branch. The pacing in this feels a bit off to me. I don't know why. It's going quickly from part to part with no... I think I'm just not used to a series at this pace, in a sense. You okay?
大丈夫です。
Since yesterday's training session ended in failure, I went ahead and decided to take a long distance trip today.
すごくいい景色だけど、やっぱりまだちょっと怖いです。
This trip consists of circling Kunahama Island, a pretty standard basic course. I'm letting Kushina-san fly by herself instead of using paired flights. Let me know right away if you start having problems. I'll give you time to collect yourself. A slightly wobbling flight brings a wry smile to my face. But when I compare it to the first day, she's definitely improved, I think.
手を平行にして足を伸ばして手を平行にして足を伸ばして
Has she?
は緊張しました。
After flying around for a while, we decided to take a break on a beach we spotted earlier. Here, take this. I hand Kurashina-san a soft drink I brought.
すみません。いくらですか？
It's fine. Think of it as a reward for flying properly today.
それはダブルで嬉しいですね。ありがとうございます。
Yeah, she says, more happy, sure, but she's obviously probably hear it, but double happy. Kurashina-san immediately opens the lid and savors the drink I got her. I sit down next to her and gaze at the scenery in front of me as I down the drink I got for myself. I haven't flown anywhere other than school in a long time. To be honest, I don't have very fond memories of flying, but I actually enjoyed it today. I don't know, they made it sound like there was such a darker and harsher history to him in flying, and yet he's just flying pretty normally without too much to it, I guess you could say. But no. I'm surprised.
ほらほら、ひなたさん、あれ見えますか？向こうの山のところ。あれ、灯台か何かでしょうか？
Huh? Oh, where?
あそこです。私の指さしてる向こうの方。水面がキラキラしてて、ちょっとわかりにくいかもしれませんが、頑張って見てください。
I guess it's all thanks to this eternally joyful girl. Hey, Kurashina-san?
やっぱり見えにくいって。今私のこと呼びました？
Yeah, I did. Looks like she doesn't notice what's going on around her when she focuses on something.
何ですか？
Well, just thought that she seemed to be enjoying herself.
楽しそう？
Yep, you've looked happy all day.
はい。
She makes a bit of a surprised expression. Gotta admit, that has me a little curious. Kurashina-san looks to the side and touches her cheek with the index finger as she speaks.
ですね。ちょっと理由あるんです、これ。
And that is?
教えてもらったんです、昔に。今からだと想像つかないかもですが、私昔は引っ込み思案でうちにこもりがちな子だったんです。
Yeah, definitely can't imagine that.
だと思うでしょうけど、小さい時は今と違うことだってあるじゃないですか。
Kurashina-san says suddenly, puffing up her cheeks all the while.
話戻します。おとなしくてか弱い一人の女の子がいましたって話でしたよね。
Well, you definitely just made yourself seem a whole lot more pitiful there.
イメージですって。なんとなくそういう子がいるのを想像してください。
I think this is possibly... I thought of it, but I wasn't too sure about it since the way they were interacting with each other. During his time when he was dreaming or when he was thinking about his past, there was him talking with a younger girl, and I think that it was possibly Asuka. Both because I think the hair was similar, but also it's okay. Here I could use cliched, childhood friend. Like, as I mentioned before, I thought he was the cliched where they were together when they were young, and he had to go and move away and then come back. But I think it was her that went away and then came back. But we'll have to see. Okay, I got it. I let loose a knowing smile and do as she says. It's pretty cliche, but I picture a girl with a white one-piece dress and a straw hat standing in a meadow. Damn, that's way too cliched. It's too embarrassing to mention to others, even. Still, what can I do if that's what comes to mind?
で、この子はさっきも言った通り、引っ込み思案で誰にも話しかけられないんです。
Okay, and?
その時、颯爽と現れた同じ年ぐらいの人物が一人、私に近づいてきて言ったんです。俺と遊ぼうぜって。
Oh wow, so a prince showed up on his white horse? That'd be even more cliched than what I imagined.
って思うでしょ。ところが。
There was more to it?
あるんですよ。実はその王子様は女の子だったんですね、これが。
Oh, okay. Oh, too bad.
一人称が俺で、声もちょっとハスキーだったんですが、髪が長くて顔も綺麗で、見事に女の子でした。
I feel like there was something like that in the memory as well. I see. Too bad you didn't get a real prince. Actually, I feel a bit relieved. Actually, I'll keep that to myself. I mean, I don't want her to think I'm into her or anything. And?
で
well, what happened next?
そうでした。私の昔のときめき話で完結するとこでした。
Well, if you want to end it right there, that's fine by me.
いけません。ここからが大事です。さっきのは第一部巻みたいなものです。
Breathing heavy with excitement, she goes on.
では第2部いきます。ですね、その王子様、王女様を前にしても、この子はなかなか心を開けなかったんです。
That's one tightly sealed heart.
何年もかけて仕込んだ引っ込み思案ですから、外に引っ張り出すにも力が必要です。で、そんな子に対して王女様は言ったんです。
And what did she say?
ずっと楽しいと思っていれば、世の中は本当に楽しいぞって。
What?
これまで引っ込んでいたのなら、これから倍の時間、楽しいことが待ってるって。それで私、それ以来、何でも楽しいと思えるようになったんです。
That princess said some interesting things.
ですよね。人生における格言です。
Okay, that's probably going a bit too far. Still, I understand that defining experience in your childhood can shape your life. In my case, that worked in a negative way, though.
あ、でも、飛ぶことについては、別にその思想は抜きにして、ほんと楽しいです。
I don't know. You seemed pretty scared earlier.
その辺も入れてです。日向さんがついていてくれたので、怖かったけど、安心でした。
Krishna-san smiles sweetly. You're welcome? My face starts to burn out of embarrassment, so I take a big gulp of my drink.
なんだか結局、この3日間ずっと日向さんに頼りきりでしたね。
You sure about that?
そうですよ。全く飛べない私に一応飛べるようになるまで教えてくれて、本当感謝してます。
Krishna-san directs a quick bow at me like she always does.
日向さんはどうしてこんなに親身になって私に飛び方を教えてくれたんですか？
That's because... In response to a question, I reply... Okay, I feel like this is quite a major choice here. This is probably a defining choice. Obviously, I feel like number one is directing her towards her side, while number two is being a little bit on the off side in a sense. I don't know how to word it really, but because obviously you have this as it's because somebody asked me to, and this is because of her in a sense. So as I had mentioned before, I don't think I'm probably gonna have Asuka as my last choice. So I'll save this decision for that time. So we'll go with because Miss Kagami asked me to. She's the one who put me up this after all. Put me up this? Put you up to this.
あ、ですよね。鏡先生とても親切ですけど、怒ると怖そうですし。
But I also have to be careful of my choices. A good example, I'd say, is Katawa Shoujo, a visual novel. And another one in the past I did, which was Yuki Sakura. Those two specifically, I've had problems in the past where the decisions I chose ended up being at dead ends because I was being too indecisive in my choices. So I'm pretty sure this type of genre visual novel also has that, so I've got to be careful. I know, right? Fact is, she's terrifying. Just the other day, she proceeded to tell Christian-san a story that Aoi-san can never know I repeated.
それにしてもグラッシュって面白いですね。こんな簡単な操作で自由に飛べるなんて。
Yeah, the person who invented them is a genius. Really soaring through the sky, that's something one could only dream of previously. But now it's just another part of our world. I've grown used to it by now, but honestly, the absurdity of it still amazes me. That's right, life with grab shoes is like something out of a fantasy world. But it's actually real. It's always been like that. I've been remembering them lots over the past 3 days. I can't help but recall the days when I was soaring through the sky and cutting through the wind. Back then, I was certain I was flying to the heights yet unknown.
これだけ便利ならいろいろできそうですよね。そう、例えば。
Honestly, it may only be natural that things are moving in this direction. Try as I might to avoid it, this would eventually come up in one of our practice sessions.
グラッシュを使ったスポーツとか楽しそうですよね。
And I'm guessing that was what hurt him in the past. I almost dropped the bottle I'm holding. Luckily, I hurriedly squeezed the bottle before agreeing in a slightly hoarse voice. Yeah, you're probably right.
ですよね。絶対楽しいですよ。
Figured it'd come to this. I mean, she wouldn't have said what she did earlier otherwise. Masakami, are you scheming something?
Eh?
I'm talking about the whole flying instructor thing. Figured you have some specific reason to make me teach Kuroshina-san. Aoi-san suddenly forms her usual grin.
どうしてそう思った？
Well, I can see some similarities.
誰と誰が？
Yeah, she's saying similarities between who and who in a sense. I realize she's trying to make me talk, but I also know there's no point beating around the bush. Between Christina-san and me. Her grin changes to a lonely smile.
懐かしいと思ったのはお前だけじゃなかったってことだ。
Aoi-san pokes the mug on the table and proceeds to run her finger along the rim. Though she is looking in my direction, it doesn't seem like she's staring at me.
マサヤ、私はね、10年、いや、20年に一人の選手をそんなにすぐには諦めきれないんだ。
So let's do that one more time.
マサヤ、 私はね、10年、いや、20年に一人の選手をそんなにすぐには諦めきれないんだ。
So in English they used generational as the word, but here in the Japanese she uses words 20 years talents in a sense. So she's saying that at first she didn't want to give I can't recall the exact line, but I'm just going to use a bit of the English here. She didn't want to give up the talent that she has seen, that the talent you would see every 10 years. Oh no, wait, 20 years. So she doesn't want to give up on that type of talent. I don't want to talk about that again.
いや、残念ながらいつだってするさ。お前がそのあまりある才能を持ち続け、空を飛び続ける限りはね。
Before I know it, she isn't smiling anymore.
無理やり押し付けようとは思ってない。だけど、これだけは言っておく。日向雅也を私は待っている。今もずっとね。
Then silence reigns once more. I doubt it lasted longer than 10 seconds, but to me, it felt like an eternity. I'll be taking my leave now. It's almost time for me to start coaching.
コーチか。その響きも懐かしいな。
Excuse me. So this, okay, let me. 失礼します。Okay. That excuse me was it's tough. It's problematic word in English because excuse me can either mean excuse me, like you're trying to say what do you mean by that type of thing, or excuse me could mean I'll be excusing myself now and I'll be going type of thing. So I wanted to just make sure about it with the Japanese, because in Japanese it said 失礼します, which is I'll be taking my leave now, thank you, in a sense like will you please excuse me as he leaves, in a sense. So that's why I was a bit hesitant when I said this line, because I wasn't sure what was being said here.
日向さん。
So yeah, with the way this thing is paced, I don't know where I would normally stop, so I think I'll just go for here. In the middle of this episode, I was a bit lost. We had feelings, we had seen that he had trouble in his past with grav shoes, and I wasn't too sure where that I was directed towards. Was it just the flying? Was it because he thought he was better and then he was just defeated in that type of endeavor? But now we know that it's more in terms of sports. It was more, there's a sports that involves grav shoes. He thought he would be able to do well in it, but he was completely defeated when he did it. And it was, from what I can gather, so bad that he thought, well, I'll definitely not made for this then. But Ari sees different. She sees that he has potential and that he shouldn't give up on it. But from the way she sounds as well, she thinks that Asuka perhaps has potential, but I'm not too sure where that is though. Okay. So yeah, I do feel like they knew each other, Asuka and Masaya, in the past. I remember there was a memory picture of a person with long hair, and I don't know, I don't think it might be Masaya, because he would obviously know, oh, I was a kid who was young, when I was young I had long hair, but I don't think so. Maybe it was somebody else. But that will have to be found out later, because it seems like it's a major plot point for her, so we'll have to wait to see for that. I was a bit disappointed with the interaction with Rika. Obviously, if I was in that situation, I would have probably put a lot more effort into fixing the misunderstanding. I mean, you're also neighbors, so it's a lot easier to fix misunderstandings. Obviously, I don't have the experience, I can't really say, but yeah. Yeah. So far, I enjoyed the first two episodes. This one, I don't know, I think the pacing was a bit off and it threw me off a bit. As well as with the whole Rika thing and the flying, I was just left confused and not sure for most of the episode. Well, okay. We'll see how it goes from going on forward. Not sure where else we're going to see from here. So yeah, I'll leave it there for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Just let me know what your thoughts, and I'll see you all next time.